We have a great opportunity. Why? We were totally broken with this community for a century. And think that today we are discussing how to proceed and normalize and how to rehabilitate the prosperity of both communities. And I believe that both communities need each other. Let me tell you why. The first issue, once you go and check Turkey, the average income of a citizen based on the GDP per individual, it's $13,000. But at the East, it's 5,000. So normalization is an opportunity, especially for the citizens to expand their prosperity. The second thing, the same applies for Armenia. It's less than expected, the income. So an interaction between the citizens, trade, tourism, will somehow promote exactly the interaction, and all citizens will enjoy a big wallet in their pockets with money, with opportunities. And you can include education, you can include, other business opportunities, maybe social interactions, etc. The second issue, for a normalization, you have to understand the agendas of the actors in the region. What is the long-term vision? What is the intention? Let me touch first Turkish vision and Turkish intention. The Turkish GDP is currently $1.64 trillion a year. And we are expecting an increase like $4 to $5 trillion in 5 years. If you exclude Russia, and once you add 9 countries in Central Asia and South Caucasus, Turkey is $500 billion more. So, Turkey presents an opportunity for all countries. In this sense, Turkey wants to expand this interaction, not to exploit, not to dominate, but open the markets, open the opportunities, and to have an access to Central Asia, South Caucasus for prosperity. That's the intention. Let's go and visit, for instance, Yerevan right now, Armenia, a landlocked country, and wants to have an opportunity in future, and they want to, interact with the global markets, and that's why they need to have an access to the ports, a market which is great, 87 million people at the West waiting for products, right? So that quest coincides with the Turkish vision. And for sure there are problems, and we are able to resolve them. These problems are not easy because most of them are not economic but psychological and societal. But I think we should suppress some and look forward. We need alternative routes. If something happens in one or across one, the other should facilitate the interaction. And if you zoom out the region, Central Asia states, they are rich of not only energy resources, but industrial and agricultural products. And they have inherited industrial complex from the Soviet term. And there's a China at the very east. So once you review what's happening at the extreme north, what's happening across the choke points like Hormuz Strait or Bab el-Mandeb, the middle corridor has become the essential avenue that will facilitate the meeting of markets and products from both parties. And the Peace Crossroads projects in that sense is really important. I would like to appreciate Pashinyan's initiative in this. Why? Now they have planned 4 different avenues from Azerbaijan to Turkey, and for sure from Iran to Georgia there is another one that will reach the ports. It's totally understandable, no problem, but what we should do right now, all these routes, north to south or south to north, east to west or west to east, they must run. There must be a sort of logic for this. Chinese products are being marketed to the Western markets, but the Western markets, Anatolia, even Armenia should sell products to Chinese markets as well. So I'm talking about a two-way approach all across the roads. Indians proposed IMEC that will connect India, Israel, and Europe. Now it's that. Why? Two reasons. First one, the cost. You will produce something, load it to a ship, and then pass it to a road transfer, and then a ship. It's a cost. In each time you transfer the cargo to another vehicle, vessel or truck, doesn't matter, it's a cost. Second thing, well, Israel has been insecure and think that any sort of conflict in this region, which is really a probability, will cut the overall logistical continuity. So that's why from Central Asia and China towards Europe, connecting these two geographies and route South Caucasus and Anatolia, it's much more feasible in terms of time, feasibility, and we need only what? Peace and stability. That's why there must be an established, well-designed, peaceful settlement between Azerbaijan and Armenia, and a complete normalization between Armenia and Turkey. Iraq's proposed development road to Turkey. It connects the Gulf region to Anatolia and then Europe. Think that the expected investment to realize that project, the same mentality by the way, $17 billion, and estimates indicate that $20 billion investment. And they did what? All across the development road, they planned industrial complex. By that way, they can produce at micro and mezzo level, low level and medium level, and they can export it via that road. So if we have peace crossroads projects all across the Armenia, there must be complementary projects that requires investment, and now it's an opportunity. So I think peace crossroads should be open to all private enterprises or state-encouraged enterprises to invest and run a business, either through industrial zones or logistical projects. Well, today we start with trip. Why? Because Azerbaijan needs a connection to Nakhchivan, and it's the shortest way that will connect Azerbaijan and Turkey and zoom out Central Asia and Turkey and also Europe. Azerbaijan is about to complete the process, and only 43 kilometers at the very south of Armenia should be constructed. Americans are doing it with a partnership with Armenia. Once we complete it, it will be the first step to ignite the other avenues from east to west. In this sense, I see this a great opportunity to start with, and then we should watch exactly how to improve it. I mean, energy, data, railroads, and also how the local population, local public will benefit. Another example, the people at the very southeast of Turkey benefits from the transportation between Turkey and Iraq. The same applies in Gaziantep city with a connection to Syria. So why not? Turkey has already completed the master plan for a railroad network in Anatolia, and it's not to connect the cities of Turkey to each other. It's to connect intercontinental transportation. That's why this Kars-Gümrük Railroad has been planned and being constructed right now. Not only the construction, but the sort of construction is important. They are planning a fast train. That means the duration that a transport will be deported from Armenia or Central Asia to Edirne city at the very west of Turkey will be in days. That's very important, because once you build the railroad, you can carry maybe 100 truckloads in one carriage.